Today we face off Pokemon Go versus Pokemon Cards. Specifically, we have 3 Pokemon card battle decks that we're gonna be going ahead and taking inspiration from to build our Pokemon Go PvP teams. We'll then go jump into Pokemon Go with these teams and see which deck can actually win the most amount of battles. To add a little fun to it, every time I lose a battle today, I'm gonna be transferring a shiny Pokemon based on that Pokemon Go card. For example, lose with Lugia, I'm gonna end up transferring a Lugia. Without further ado, let's get into our first deck. Okay, so the first deck we're gonna be basing our team off here is going to be a deck called Lost Box. It bases the deck off of this Pokemon here, Comfey, with the flower selecting ability, which allows you to use something called the Lost Zone. But we don't really wanna look at that because we wanna be looking at the main attackers we're gonna be using to base our deck off, and it's going to be a Dragonite here, Dragonite V, we're gonna have a Raikou V, and then we're going to have a Sableye. These are our 3 main attackers in the deck, and this is going to be our team we're going to be using for the Great League PvP. The deck does have some support Pokemon like Cramorant, which is non-Pokemon Go yet, Kyogre, which you can't even get for the Great League, and Comfey, which I do not have at all, as well as Manaphy, which is non-Pokemon Go. So let's jump into a battle in PvP using these 3 Pokemon and see if we can win with the Lost Box team in Pokemon Go. Okay, so let's get into our first battle with the Lost Box deck. We have, of course, Dragonite, Sableye, and Raikou, the 3 main attackers of the deck. And let's see how they attack in Pokemon Go. These are actually 3 decent Great League Pokemon too, so I actually expect them to do all right. Going up against a rank 10 here. We're not too high ranked, we're rank 14, but it is early season, so this is where all the good players are. Leading into a double, so we're gonna go ahead and stay into this matchup. They're gonna go into a Mew, and we're going to go ahead and switch into our Sableye. Which should be fine. They do have potential wild charge here. Surf, actually Mew could really know anything, so this is kind of scary. Gonna get hit by Surf, should be about a little bit less than 50%. And we're gonna throw here. This will go ahead and either force a shield or just cleanly take out the Mew, which is great. But most likely they might have a Medicham in the back and they're trying to bait out my best counter for Medicham. So they're gonna go ahead and let Mew go down here, probably come back in with double, which is absolute fine. They do have to get to a payback here to do some good damage. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw Foul Play, try to get some chip damage on this thing if we can. Gonna get to another Foul Play, which is actually pretty big here. Foul Play should take out the double or get it really low if they let it go through. Hopefully grab a shield, which we do, which I'm actually really happy about. And they're gonna go ahead and throw here. Again, they're forced to throw a payback here, which will use a lot of their energy. Oh, they're running Wild Charge, interesting, okay. So that's actually good to know that they're running Wild Charge, which means we can actually probably come in here with Raikou. And if they do end up throwing a Wild Charge here, we could actually probably take it. So we're gonna let this through. If it's a Body Slam, it's a Body Slam, so be it. It is a Wild Charge, which is huge. They just blindly threw. And they're coming with a Crobat in the back, a Golbat too, 3. And that's a win, there you go. The Lost Box deck takes win number 1. I'm actually very surprised about that. I'm definitely glad they blindly threw there, but we're gonna get into the second battle. We're gonna be doing 2 battles with each team. Shuffling up the deck as we wait for the next battle. It's gonna be against Manuel. Guess I should stop shuffling. Here we go, into Obstagoon, into Dragonite. This is actually pretty good because Dragonite is probably our best matchup versus Obstagoon, and they're coming in with Jellicent. I actually probably could have came in with Raikou here, but we're gonna come right into Sableye because actually Sableye does not do well against Obstagoon, so I'm actually kind of happy we made this swap, which means we can probably take a couple Surfs. They're going right for a Shadow Ball, which is actually gonna do huge damage, so we're gonna have to kind of be careful here. Make sure we're throwing at the proper time. So this Foul Play will KO them if they let it through. If not, I might have to throw up a shield here on the Sableye. No, they're gonna let it through, and they're probably gonna come in here with Obstagoon because they probably think they can farm down, which is fine, but it's a little bit scary. I do wanna try to get a return here to do some big neutral damage. So that's gonna be our goal here, and we do get the return off, which is gonna be big. Okay, so return coming in here. I really hope they let it through. There's a decent chance they do shield though. No letting it through, which is actually really, really big. So we can come in here with Dragonite now. Don't think I want to come in with Raikou. Try to do as much fast move pressure damage as we can. Let the move through, and then hopefully Raikou's going to be able to sweep in the end. Or Dragonite. Get a hit with a Night Slash here. They're probably going to get to a second one. Do I want to shield though? The good question. 2, 3. Okay, they have a Sableye in the back. I'm going to throw 1 Dragon Claw and then maybe dip out into Raikou here. Dragon Claw does grab the shield. I might be able to take 1 Foul Play, but I don't really want to risk it. We're gonna throw a Shadow Ball here because if they do let this through, this will KO them. And this won't debuff my defense, so do I want to shield here though? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. This is a really close battle. Okay, throwing here. But the question is, can we get to another Wild Charge versus the Obstagoon? Or not. I'm really low, so I'm in farm down range, but I think we can get to a move if they don't throw. And we do get to a move, Raikou cleaning up the game like it does in the cards, and that is a 2-0 for the Lost Box deck. These battles are only gonna get harder as we go because we got some fun decks lined up, so without further ado, let's hop into deck number 2. Okay, now the second team we're gonna be running is going to be based off this Gardevoir EX deck in Pokemon Go. The main power of this deck is going to be in the Gardevoir EX with its Psychic Embrace ability, allowing you to just attach as many of these energies you want to turn. So obviously Gardevoir is going to be one of our attackers. We're then going ahead and pair that with Cresselia, which is going to be one of our backup attackers. There's also this other Gardevoir card, which we can put there, but we can't run more than one Gardevoir in Pokemon Go. There also is a Zacian in this deck, but unfortunately Zacian not available for the Great League in Pokemon Go. So that leaves us with a Mew that we will be running here as our third Pokemon. So this is a deck in Pokemon Go. We're going to be using a Gardevoir, a Cresselia, and a Mew. Hopefully don't see any dark types, but let's go ahead and give it a go. Okay, here we go with the second deck, the Gardevoir EX deck. This is the team we got here. Gardevoir, we got the Mew on the safe swap and the Cresselia in the back. So far we haven't lost a battle, so I'm hoping this goes smoothly because I don't really want to have to transfer like a shiny Cresselia or a shiny Gardevoir. That would be pretty bad. 11 Vox, is that their name? I think that's their name, is going to be our opponent here, leading a Pidgeot. So this is not a great lead, but we're going to stick into this. So they could very much go for a Feather Dance here or swap out. To be honest, our matchups in the back versus this thing, not very good, but we can survive a Feather Dance and we can just continuously charm this thing out and maybe get to a Synchronoise, which would be pretty big. Do get to a Synchronoise, so this is going to be great because this would KO, forcing one shield. Now they might just decide to shield and fully farm down, which I would be happy with as well, or we'll grab shields here or grab switch here, which is completely fine with me. Going to swap here into Mew, just because of the fact that both my matchups here in the back versus Galarian Stunfisk are not that bad. Could be a Earthquake. Going to shield in case it is. It is the Earthquake, which is a big shield on our part, and they're going to continue farming up. I'm going to throw a Surf here, try to get some chip damage on this thing if we can. Now, if they have a Flyer and a Galarian Stunfisk, it makes me think they have something like a Sableye in the back, which is highly possible. Nonetheless, we're going to go ahead and throw a Surf here, and then I think we're just going to let their move through, even if it's an Earthquake. Their double shielding on the Stunfisk makes me very curious of what they have in the back. So I think I'm actually just going to save the Mew here, because the double shield on the Stunfisk is a very sussy move, and it makes me kind of questionable about what they have in the back. Okay, so this is actually not very good. Oh, we do survive. That's actually really big. I didn't know Mew survived that. Did they swap, though? Ooh. It's probably a Medicham in the back, actually. Now that I think about it, it's probably Medi. Yeah, it is a Medi, which is fine because we do have a good matchup in the back here versus Medicham, and I think this game is still very winnable. I just need to remember to fully overfarm here, get as much energy as I can, throw a Moonblast for the KO, and then just double Grass Knot for the win. So I think we should have this one in the bag. I'm gonna throw here. Oh, I should have thrown one earlier actually, because now this might actually put me into a Earthquake range. So that was kind of a little bit of a misplay there on my end, but this Moonblast should KO. Still do have Guardy in the back, which can do some decent damage. It's going to be a KO. Can I try to catch here? I think I might still survive an Earthquake. No? Okay, we get to the Grass Knot, and then this should be a KO here from the Grass Knot. I believe they are in range. Are they in range? They are in range, and that's a GG's. Wow, we've been fully successful with these teams so far. The Gardevoir deck team does seem to be doing all right. I think Gardevoir, though, is going to be a liability, and I think we might end up losing a game, but maybe I shouldn't put that negative energy in the air. Okay, here we go, hopping into our second battle for the Gardevoir EX deck team, leading Gardevoir into Noctowl. Very similar to last time, a Flyer into a non-Flyer, but this time, this guy can hit us with Shadow Ball, which is really not good, and it can hit our whole team with super effective Shadow Ball damage. So I'm going to actually shield here right away, because we need to chip this thing. We need to do as much damage as we can to it, and Gardevoir is really my best matchup in this battle. So they're going to go ahead and throw a Sky Attack, which is not really what I wanted to see. I think I'm actually just gonna have to double shield here, farm down, because coming in with anything else is not really an option, and this Noctowl is a huge threat to our team. They are just going straight Sky Attack, which I don't know if that's baiting on purpose or some other reason, but we should be able to grab a shield back here or do massive damage, and I think I'm gonna save the Gardevoir. We're gonna go into Mew here because we do have Wild Charge for this thing. So we're gonna go ahead, throw a Shadow Ball, grab a shield, and we can come in here with Mew. Wild Charge will only do neutral damage, which is not gonna be that much damage, but it is better than going with Cresselia because Cresselia has the best matchup versus this thing. So I kind of want to save it in the back for once our Lantern goes out. We are going to be in Surf range, but if they do let this through, I'd actually prefer they shield this here. Nope, they're going to let it through. Okay, that's fine because now we have Cresselia in the back, which hopefully is going to be able to take out this Lantern, their last Pokemon. Actually could come in here with Gardevoir, which maybe wouldn't be the worst thing. but I don't know if my switch clock is up. Yeah, I actually might come in with Gardevoir here. I'm hoping they have a Medicham in the back because that would pretty much lead to a win. So they're gonna be able to take us out here, but that is fine. This sets up a great farm down for Cresselia, or if they do end up swapping out, their Lantern is not really a threat anymore at this point, so it's not really gonna be a concern for us. And it is a Medi in the back, which means this should be a GG's. I think we have this one in the bag. Go double Moonblast. They have Power a Punch too, which makes it even better because they can't hit us for super effective damage. So we're just gonna go straight Moonblast here. Whether they shield or not, I don't think it's really gonna matter because I think we can get to 2 Moonblasts and just simply win this game. So big boom. Oh, and now actually they're in Grass Knot range, so I can actually just go double Grass Knot. And here you go, Grass Knot for the KO, and then a couple Psycho Cuts should take out Lantern. Bang, no problem. And then 1, 2, and 3 for the win with Cresselia. So that is a fully successful win. I was actually scared I was gonna lose with that team because we were super weak to any sort of dark or ghost type, but that is going to be a 4-0 with those two teams. Let's hop into the final deck. Okay, and the third and final team we're gonna be running, which is the hardest, is going to be based off of our Lugia V-STAR deck in Pokemon cards. Obviously it has Lugia V and V-STAR as the main attacker, so we're gonna be running one of those. We also have Archeops here as a support Pokemon, allowing you to accelerate energy. That will be our second Pokemon for the team, and that leads us to a Tyranitar as our third Pokemon, which is the main attacker of the deck. It also does include some support Pokemon like Luminion and Urshifu, but obviously these are not in Pokemon Go and they're also not main attackers. So this is the team we're gonna be running in Pokemon Go: Lugia V, Archeops, and Tyranitar. Let's see if we can take some wins. We do have a team set up. We have Archon, Tyranitar, and Lugia as per the attackers in this team. Obviously, you see that's not an Archeops. Archeops is really hard to get for the Great League because you have to find a wild one, and I don't have one. So we're gonna be using the baby evolution Archon for this battle. I hope you guys accept that as a easy replacement. And do note the Archon and the Lugia is a Shadow Lugia, and they both have single moves because their double moves are really, really expensive and their IVs are not that good, so I'm not really down to invest. But nonetheless, we should be able to hopefully have some success with this team. If I do end up losing some of these battles, I might have to transfer some big Pokemon. Already struggling with the lead. This might be an auto loss. I'm not gonna lie, this is an auto loss. So the problem with my team is Lantern does so well against it. Also, I forgot that Archon is a rock type, so that's actually even worse. So at this point, I think my only win con here is if I come in with Shadow T-Tar, double shields, fully farm this thing out. But even then, I don't even know if that's going to be possible. This is gonna be bad. Lantern is the worst Pokemon we could run into here in this scenario because it core breaks all 3 of my Pokemon. At the very least, we can hopefully maybe grab a shield here, but we will have to wait and see. They might actually just end up shielding. Makes a lot of sense because they know that Lantern is a really strong Pokemon against their team. Now, what I could do here is I could let this through and then come with Lugia, try to sweep. We're gonna see here, Shadow Lugia in the back. Oh, but the Dragon Tails do nowhere near as much as I thought. They might farm up and then go back-to-back Surf. Would make a lot of sense here. I'm gonna shield in case it's a Thunderbolt. It is a Thunderbolt, so we should be able to farm down here, but I don't really know if we have anything or anywhere to go. It is a Frostlass in the back, which is a huge check to Lugia. Come on, Lugia. Come on, we just need one more Sky Attack. Oh, okay, and that's a GG's. To be honest, not much I could do there. We saw Lantern on the lead, which literally just destroys this team. Okay, well, because we lost that battle, looks like we're gonna have to transfer a shiny based on the deck, and Lugia, of course, does have a shiny in Pokemon Go, so let's go ahead, transfer this Lugia. This is a pretty good IV one, too. Just get rid of it. Goodbye, Lugia. Okay, come on. We got to win a battle. I don't want to have to transfer another Lugia or maybe even a Tyranitar. Okay, here we go with battle number 2 with the Lugia V-STAR deck team. Archon into Superior, which is actually a good lead. And we do have a check in the back with Lugia to this. So I'm actually kind of happy with this. We do have Wing Attack, which does some good damage. They're going to answer with a Wish Cash. We can come in with Lugia here, which is going to be our best answer to this. So I'm going to shield a Blizzard here because I don't even think Lugia could tank this. Might be able to. Okay, good shield on the Blizzard, which is great. We can go ahead and overfarm a little bit here before taking out the Wish Cash. So we're gonna throw our move here, which is not gonna be a problem. They probably have an answer to this because so far their team seems very, very weak to any sort of flying type Pokemon. They're going to actually decide to shield, which is an interesting choice, which means I'm gonna try to force a second shield right away and throw this move. And the fact that they're shielding makes me really think that they might not actually even have an answer to Lugia, and Lugia might be actually free to roam here. So I'm actually going to force the shield and go for the Lugia farm down. Is this a team super weak to Lugia? They did not expect Lugia to be coming to the game today. Oh, when they get to the Blizzard, I was going to try to actually catch there, but they do end up getting to a Blizzard, which means I think they're gonna end up taking Switch, unless he can survive. No, he cannot. It is all right though, because I can get a little bit of energy lead here, which means when Superior does come back in, we can answer it here with a brutal swing, which I am very happy about. This should do a lot of damage. Let's see here. This does a lot of damage. We're gonna save T-Tar in the back. Oh, and we almost snipe. We were almost able to snipe here with Archon, but great swap by the opponent. And they have a Skarmory in the back, which is going to make this a very uphill battle, but we're going to try to chip with as much damage as we can here. Now, we do have a potential win con here. Maybe if they end up throwing a move, Tyranitar might be able to farm down and then have a brutal swing. Okay, I can throw one more move here. I have to perfectly undercharge this, so I'm going to give it just this amount. This should put Skarmory in a range in which I can farm it down and oh, I needed a little bit less damage because now they definitely have a move on Superior. I needed one more smackdown and we would have won that game. I think I should not have thrown that move. We should have kept the Dragon Claw, and that's going to be a Loof Tornado for the win. It's all right. We were super, super close on that last battle. Just a little bit of a misplay. I shouldn't have thrown that Dragon Claw. Nonetheless, that means we have to transfer a shiny, which we will end up transferring a shiny Tyranitar since it is technically part of the team and I don't want to transfer another Lugia. But goodbye, shiny Tyranitar. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know in the comment section below if you want to see me do it again in the future with other TCG decks, because I do play a lot of Pokemon TCG. Let me know and we can definitely set it up. And let me know your favorite Pokemon card deck if you do play it. We'll see you on the next one. Follow from Tess, everybody. Peace.